Excited to have Shannon Rine, the Director of Medina County Public Transit, with us today. We have a wonderful audience and we're excited to learn some updates on MCFlex. Welcome.
Thank you, Lori. I appreciate the time today and everyone's time today. All traveling out, had a really nice day for it, right? I want to introduce my operations supervisor, Amy Carpenter. She's over here on my left. She's going to be able to answer some of your questions as we go through. I've got a short presentation, and again, just appreciate the time. Feel free to stop me and ask me a question, but really let me try to get through the presentation if you can. That way we can capture everybody's feedback. So we're here today. Again, my name is Shannon Rine. I'm the Transit Director for Medina County. I've been with the county a little over 5 years. Been a great experience. I love Wadsworth. I love the entire county. I feel honored to provide service to the transit community in Medina County. There's a lot of folks that need our service. As Lori was saying, this is a service that's really all-inclusive for everyone in the community, all over the county. We run service in two ways. We run a county-wide service that's everywhere in the county to all destinations. We're going to be talking about what we call the micro-transit, common word in transit. We call it the MCFlex. And we're going to be talking about what the service does in the communities of Wadsworth, where we began the pilot, Medina City, and Brunswick. So this was, I'll start out by saying that Wadsworth was our pilot program. We've been in service now in Wadsworth for a little over a year. We've learned so much. We've listened to your feedback. The team we have, really dedicated team. I want to start off by thanking them. Not all of them are here, but Amy will tell you that they all work very hard to listen to what you need, make sure that you have the information you need, and provide your transit services that you love to come to the Soprema Center or wherever you're going in the Wadsworth area here. Okay? I'm going to call attention to the nice vehicle you see up there. Amy will tell you that we've welcomed these 8 brand new buses to our fleet. They're 2023s and 24s. They're larger, they're a bigger vehicle, kind of like what you normally ride on. We've waited for a while for these, but they've come in. We've decaled them, as you've seen. Amy's been working hard to make sure that the vehicles are road ready. They go through their inspections. Technology goes on these vehicles, which is we're wrapping up those last pieces of the technology that you've seen on the buses, the tablets. So just understand that those are going to be out here soon. You might see one of those or get to ride on them, but we're proud to say that we've have many, many new vehicles for you to ride on, and they really do look well put together. I went to the factory when they were being built, and happy to say that they're Amy can tell you that we've been waiting for a while. So MCFlex Microtransit, just jump into this. It is our mission to provide safe, reliable, and quality public transportation services to all residents of Medina County. And you'll see I've got some graphics up there from home to work, restaurants, hospitals, medical appointments, things up there. We're going everywhere. We really are taking you where you need to go. We're going to talk about what those services look like as we go through the presentation. But that really, it's for everyone to go where they need to go in the county, and specifically Wadsworth. So I'm going to talk a little bit. You can't quite see this, and it's okay, but what we did about a year and a half ago, we started a strategic planning group. Now, this group was made up of 60 members that we funneled down with county commissioners' participation and extreme amount of support to talk about what Medina County Transit needed to look like over the next 5 to 7 to 10 years. This graphic, I've pulled this along right from our strategic planning. You can see there's little purple squares, there's blue dots. That's where everybody goes in the county. We put that together. So what we wanted to do was make sure that we captured where everybody was going. We did some analysis. We talked about what would work for Medina County on a holistic basis, and then in each individual city. That's going to be important as we move along. But this data allowed us to confirm what we believed and listen to all of you. So why microtransit? Why the MCFlex? This has been the fruits of our labor, if you want to call it that, with all your support. We talked about what it would mean to make sure that there was ridership. We've actually increased ridership. That has a lot to do with our mission to make sure we provide transit to everyone. We increased ridership a tremendous amount in a very short period of time because we improved service capacity. So not to get into the weeds, and Amy and I could probably talk about this for days, but what we did was we reduced how many unnecessary miles we traveled. Now, if you've ever been on that bus, and if I could have a show of hands of how many people have ridden a bus? One time? So if I asked these folks if they were going somewhere before we started the microtransit, the MCFlex, it might have taken them 45, 50 minutes, depending on their destination. Now, we don't drive what we call unnecessary miles. That's a big deal. To the bottom, reduced vehicle miles, less passenger travel time, and lower vehicle usage, fuel usage. I don't know if you've seen how much gas costs. We pay that much for it too. We saved 6,200 gallons of fuel in 2023, and we only did Wadsworth MCFlex and Medina for the second half of the year, and we hadn't done Brunswick yet. We saved over 61,000 vehicle miles on our vehicles in 2023. Again, with only doing Wadsworth, half a year of Medina City, and not even Brunswick yet. So we're very hopeful that we can get another year out of the vehicles that we have and the vehicles we purchased. We are running a very efficient business, which I'm quite proud of. Amy and the team have a lot to do with that. They have a lot to do with how we plan, how we communicate with you, how we make sure you have what you need. This is the business part, kind of not the fun stuff, but it means so much to the community that we're able to run a very efficient service. So let's talk about Wadsworth. There's the map. Now the map looks kind of different. Some people say it looks wonky. I think it goes back to the previous couple slides about where people were at. We really wanted to define what our best service location around there, and what we did, many of you have heard me say this before, we used to have on the traditional city bus route, the loop in Wadsworth, we had limited amount of bus stops. Anywhere in that green area is a bus stop now. So if maybe you were a couple blocks from the bus stop, maybe you had to walk to that bus stop to catch that bus. Now the bus comes right to your front door. You don't have to walk to that bus stop. And if you're going to one of the destinations, now it was always going to Walmart, but maybe you wanted to go to another store that was near Walmart. Now the driver would deviate a little bit. We tried to do some of that, but this is full access to that whole area on the MCFlex, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay. Medina City looks a little bit more square, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is an area that I'm very pleased to say has become an economic engine for the Medina City area, because we're taking people to work at those industrial parks. You've ever been up there on Lake Road? I did crunch some numbers, and it's an estimate, but the last year, we had about 30% of our service in the entire county was taking people to work. Now that's nice, because some people only have one car. We found that out through the analysis. Some people don't have a car at all. So we were able to get people to work, which in this day and age really means a lot when people are, maybe dad takes the car to work and mom needs to go to a part-time job or something like that. Okay? Brunswick, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. This has been a different one. We've just, Amy and I was just speaking to the mayor and Lori about how we've traveled to Brunswick to speak to larger groups like this, and really trying to say, what do you need Brunswick? Because it's different than Wadsworth, and it's different than Medina. Brunswick is different. Different clientele, different transportation needs. We're really trying to meet that, and I think we've done a really good job of that. So how to ride MCFlex. Again, I saw a few people that had written. If you have any questions about how to ride, Amy and I are here for you. We want to make sure you have a phone number to call. I have some brochures up here to hand out if you raise your hands at the end of the presentation to learn more. A phone call is the best way to find out how to ride the MCFlex or any other transportation in Medina County Public Transit. Scheduling, there's the phone number, MCFlex, up to 7 days in advance. Now I know many of you call for the demand countywide, that's 14 days. The MCFlex is 7 days in advance, and we encourage you to call as soon as you know so we can plan and have enough staff and enough buses and figure it out. I would say that we've learned a lot about how we're to schedule, but 7 days in advance, 3 days in advance sure makes a world of difference. Minimum 2 hours in advance. So if you need to go somewhere, you can call and say, I want to go somewhere, I'm going to get backed up around 2 o'clock. You'll call in, the reservationist will give you some options, help you with what you need, where you're being picked up and where you're going. And then, obviously it's $1.50 still, qualifying reduced, all-day passes. And then we have an all-day pass on the MCFlex of $46. That's an all-day, that's a monthly pass. And for those in this room, many of you will qualify for a reduced fare, half that. So if you buy a $23 monthly pass, that's unlimited to ride the MCFlex. That could really help some of you out if you're looking for those dollars. Some of you are funded trips by the Office for Older Adults and other veteran services and that sort of thing, and that's great. But if you need to pay your fare, this is what the fare is, and we can answer any questions. I went through that kind of quick, but I wanted to give a lot of time to talk. We're here for you. If you have any other questions, I'm welcome to them. We've learned a lot. We've heard some great feedback. I've heard some feedback lately about I can't get the exact time I need. Please understand that our goal is to give everybody a ride. I didn't put it up here, but back in mid last year, we had a month that was, I cringed. It was a bad month for me because we had to deny 101 trips in Medina County. Now that was everything. That's our countywide demand, and that's our flex. We had one last month, or two last month, one the month before, and I think we're on pace to have no trip denials. So that goes back to speaking about the capacity of the service and unnecessary miles. Our vehicles are being used in the best way possible for all of you. And it has a lot to do with our team, making sure we can talk to you about what you need and scheduling and making sure everybody fits. I can tell you that Amy spends, hopefully not hours, but minutes, finalizing our schedule for the next day, and she does a really good job at it, and I thank her for it every day. Okay? I really appreciate your time today. You want to go to the question session? I have one right here in the front. Yes, sir.
If I want to go to the Wadsworth Hospital, how much advance do I have to make? And is there a charge to go over and to come back? And how do you schedule the appointment to come back from the hospital to where you live? That's
a good question. He asked if he wanted to go to the Wadsworth Hospital. He said, how far in advance, and how do I schedule it, and how do I schedule my return trip? The great part about it is the answer is yes, you can go to the Wadsworth Hospital if you're in that MCFlex area. We ask that you schedule it in advance if you know about it, but minimum 2 hours. And you schedule both your going and your return trip at the same time when you call. So we'll give you a phone number, you can call, become a client, make sure we have all your information in there. Boy, the cafe smells good. Did somebody notice that?
Yeah.
Not lunchtime, is it? Sorry, but anyway.
When you go to a doctor, you don't know when you're going to be done.
Yes, another question. What he asked was, if you get done early, schedule a doctor's appointment. This is why, our team is so good, okay? We're going to schedule and give you time at your doctor's appointment. We have a no-strand policy. If we get you somewhere, we get you home. If you're not ready when you're ready, say, maybe you call in and go, hey, my doctor's appointment's running over. That never happens, right? Or sometimes you go into the bank, you come out, and it's 15 minutes, right? We understand that. This team works very hard, and I've given them a lot of latitude, okay? I want them to do the right thing for all of you. As a director, I want you to have the service. Now, here's the hitch. If we don't have a bus right there for you, you may have to wait a little bit because that bus is picking up other people. But again, our dispatchers, our supervisors do a good job of turning buses around. If you need something, we won't leave you behind. If you call and say, my doctor's appointment, I'm pushed out 45 minutes, we'll move your time. We have the ability, with the technology on the vehicles, to move trips around in real time, right? Yes? Well, I got a question way back here. But I'll come back to you, okay? I'll come back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
My question is, you said any age can ride.
Okay, yeah, they're probably almost done.
The service is for everyone, yes. We ask that 12 and under have an adult.
Okay, that's my question.
You were going there, weren't you?
I need to come up here for my exercise class. That hill's getting pretty big. But I got an 8-year-old that's going to be coming with me, so keep in mind.
They can ride with you? Yeah. Mhm. Sure. Right after that one, we got a question up here, but Ms. Moser?
Go ahead.
Do you interconnect with the Akron Metro Transit system anywhere?
That's a really good question. What's your first name?
Bill.
Bill. I didn't ask her first name, I should have. Bill, we have what we formerly ran called the 18 Express. That 18 Express was a prototype, pilot, whatever you want to call it, from Medina City all the way to meet up with the Akron bus in Fairlawn. Everybody know where the Home Depot is? We had a bus that ran all the way across 18 many, many, many times a day. We found that was somewhat inefficient. Amy had a lot to do with this. We brought this in and we basically made that part of the Medina Flex. That bus is part of the Medina Flex. But yes, upon request, we will take you from Medina City over to Fairlawn. Now, I would love to have a service from Wadsworth to Fairlawn. I don't have that, not yet. But if you really want to get there, we can book a demand bus from Wadsworth to Medina, and then we can make a transfer there. It's a little bit of a transfer situation, but we found benefit in providing an on-call service from Medina City to Akron. There was some college students that ran. I rode the bus for a while, much like I did here in Wadsworth. There was some college students, people going to work. But we can get you there. If you call in, we can work through that, Bill. Okay? Right up here.
I have 2 questions.
What's your first name?
Aggie.
Aggie.
My first question is, what do you do if the bus comes and it's full? You can't put any more on. And what do you do if your bus doesn't show up?
She asked, what if the bus is full, and what if the bus doesn't show up? Okay, first thing is, when we schedule, we base it on capacity, and many of our buses have 8 seats on it. Some of them are going to have 12. Our average rides per hour is about 5 or 6, maybe 4 on some days. So we always build a little capacity. But if you try to get on that bus, that driver probably won't pick you up. This very nice lady will probably put you on another bus that has room, because we see everything in advance. Our technology allows us to kind of plan ahead in scheduling, but day of, we can still plan ahead. Our team makes sure that that won't happen. If it does, the driver's going to call and say, hey, I had 13 people come out. Haven't had that problem yet. Could happen. And what if the bus doesn't come? You're going to call us, and we're going to figure out maybe the scheduling was wrong, maybe a time was wrong. But please know that we're here to help you. And when our schedulers call, you call the schedulers, they're going to give you what they call a pickup window. Yeah, some of you know what I'm talking about. So they're going to give you a pickup window, and this is how we provide our service on an on-time basis. But if you're given a 20-minute window, we ask you to be ready anytime in that window. The bus will wait for 5 minutes. The drivers don't want to leave you, trust me. They might wait an extra minute before they call into dispatch, and then we make sure we get you picked up. I've developed a no-strand policy, and the team knows it. We won't leave anybody behind. Okay? Going back there. He has up here after. Hi, how are you? What's your first name?
Eleanor.
Eleanor?
I live just north of Wadsworth in Sharon Township. Is that a possibility, or do you come in Sharon Township? 2 houses into the lot.
I'll tell you some good news. The answer is yes, but we're going to pick you up. The trip will be a different funded trip. It's going to be what we call a county-wide demand. If you call for that service, we can get you. But it won't be the MCFlex bus. It'll be another bus that's occupying the rest of the county. Now, the map I have up here, I take feedback from my team all the time. They come up to me and go, that person's, Amy just came up to me not too long ago. And I'm like, they're on the line, huh? So, shh, we might be able to help you. Amy will talk to you afterwards, Eleanor. We can move the line. You know what's great? We have control of the line. Amy actually helped me put that and fine-tune some of that. So if we find, by the way, they're building new houses everywhere. The maps might expand, but we don't want it to be too big. I've been told Medina City is too big. Brunswick is the right size. She tells me.
I'm still driving at this time, but you never know when I may need something. At this point, I'm okay.
Well stated. You never know when you're going to need something, and that's why we're here too, for the people that need us all the time. Thank you, Eleanor. Gentleman right up here.
Can you increase the line to Barberton Hospital?
Is that in the county? Okay. I kind of knew that. We provide services in the county right now. Now, I hear many times, and I go to conferences and many other transits around our area in Wayne County and Summit County, and what I said recently, and I don't take credit for saying this, but I realize that you all don't see the county line. You don't see that. I have to. We have to. But can we get you there? I'll take down your name and number. We'll figure out if there's a way that you can get a funded trip to take you there if you really need it. But we can also partner with Akron Metro and doing some, I've got some ideas about how to do kind of a pass-off thing to get you to the county line and over. It's very difficult for me to operate outside the county just for all the federal and ODOT rules. Come back.
My name's Judy.
Hi.
I want to know what the purpose of the 2-hour thing is.
That's a good question. I'll be honest with you, the 2 hours gives us, it stems from 2 reasons. Us time to react and respond is very important, okay? If somebody needs something within an hour, sometimes everybody's busy. Everybody's getting somebody picked up. And we're covering such a large area of ground. We have 2 buses for that whole Wadsworth area, okay? We have, and I can tell you it takes about 13 minutes to get from one side to the other. Amy might tell you 10. But it takes a little bit of time. So to answer your question, it may be a little difficult if we commit to the under 2 hours. It stemmed from us having the availability to get everybody picked up. Now, I'll say this to the room. If you need something, my team has, and I want them to do this. If there's a bus in the area, it could be less than 2 hours. But the 2 hours allows us to plan. Now, I've heard some feedback recently, should we move it to an hour? We've learned so much over the last year that we might be able to do that. Shh. But it's difficult for me to commit to that to the team because keep in mind, it's a 20-minute window. The 20-minute window starts in 2 hours, okay? If we started that at 11:30, now 11:30, and Amy knows the nuances of the schedules very well. If it's an hour and you want to go at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, that might be tough. Okay, certain times of the day, that means a lot. We could be looking at some time zones. The need, I'll say call. I'll say call. That's what I'll say. But the 2 hours allows us to make sure. But we have 2 buses covering all of Wadsworth, and it's pretty tough for them to be in 3 places at one time. And when I looked at the schedules way back when, that's what it landed on. Can we reduce it? I'll take that feedback. I'll take that. I want to, but I don't want to set us up. I don't want to set the team up for having to say no. That's what I don't want. Does that make sense? We had one question up here too.
If I live in Menlo and the bus is coming, but I haven't made a reservation, can I get on? Or what do I do?
That's a very good question. She asked if she's at a place where the bus is going to come pick up a lot of people, right? And this has been something that we've really cautioned our drivers from doing. It's not them, it's us. Because we need to know where you're going and how to get you back home. Some people get on the bus, and it's happened. We take you somewhere, and then we don't know we took you, right? That's why we want you to call. So does that help you answer the question?
Well,
that's the real reason.
But if you were traveling with someone from Menwa, let's say to Walmart, and you're gonna go and come back at the same time, you can be a +1. So they can call and say, hey, someone's going to ride with me, but you need to make sure that
Right.
you get with that other person on your return trip, so you come back at the same time.
We just don't want to leave anybody behind.
Yeah.
That's the real reason. Yes?
I also, my name is Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hi. I also have 2 separate issues I want to talk about, but I want to tell you about one experience I had. And you used to have just regularly scheduled stops, right? Do you still have those?
No, we do not have the static loop. It was picking up limited amount of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I locked my purse into my car at Target one day, and I couldn't get a hold of my brother at my house. I don't memorize phone numbers very much anymore.
Okay.
Because I have a cell phone, right? So I had very little access, and one of your buses happened to stop there, and I said, look, I locked my purse in my car. Is there any way I can get you to take me back to my house or near it at one of the stops? At that time, they just had stops. And I'll just run in, get money, and come out and pay you, because I had no purse, no money. So, and I think they would have done that. They told me it was going to take 45 minutes to get to my house, and I kind of said, well, I would easily walk it in 25.
Okay.
So somebody from Target took me home. I just wanted to tell you that was, so I'm glad you had this new kind of experience. If the same thing happened to me tomorrow, would I be able to convince that person to take me to my house so I could pay them and enroll and stuff?
Absolutely. They're going to call into dispatch. Dispatch is going to say, you have time to do that, or your next pickup, I'll move it to somebody else and help Donna. So that's exactly, I haven't heard that specific story, but I've had a driver tell me they did it after they got back in. They said, am I in trouble? I said, you help somebody? Great. Did you make anybody late? No. Okay. But Donna, that's what I would tell you, is the flexibility of our service allows to do that type of service recovery. For passengers that wouldn't, maybe we earned a passenger and we helped somebody.
Well, I certainly told my brother about it and other people.
Oh, thank you.
I also work for a little ministry to young children, and we have a lot of young women who do not have the most reliable transportation, some of whom live in either Seville or Lodi or someplace. They could still use this. Like, I can think of one girl who, if her car was not real predictable this week, she might want to take take her son to preschool, go to her job, go back to preschool, pick up her son, come back home.
Yeah.
But she'd have to kind of know her hours and things ahead of time.
I would say if she called a week in advance, we can help her and plan it out. We do have some people in Brunswick, young ladies that have kids that travel in Brunswick. Yes, the answer is yes. But that would be not the flex, that would be the countywide, but yes, we could definitely help. Yeah, have her call. I'll give you a flyer. We can give her the phone number. You can. One question right over here, then we'll come back, okay?
I have a question about knowing, you guys have passes for the elderly to be able to ride the buses for free. So I was wondering about passes, if there is something for the handicap, for people that aren't able to like drive and stuff or have trouble getting around. Do you guys carry passes for them?
Can I say something real quick? That's my granddaughter.
Okay. The answer is yes. I'll give you a phone number to call and we can see how you qualify for a reduced fare. There's no free service, free trips. It's funded service, okay? But yes, there are some things, or you'll need to pay a reduced fare, but there are reduced fare with qualifying.
That's what I was gonna ask. When we had the loop service. Oh, when we had the loop service, I had an orange card that allowed me to ride for free.
Right.
That's not in effect anymore.
That would be a fair question, and that's probably, like I was saying, funded from the Office for Older Adults, that orange card, and they are making sure that everything's qualified for their service because they have to qualify your trips that way. We're partnering with them, but we provide that service, and then if it's funded, Office for Older Adults will determine that. If it's a funded trip, there's a number of reasons, number of trip purposes they call it, and they'll provide those trips. Essential services is what they call it, and our office responds to that, making sure that we can provide the trip, and then if they fund it, they fund it. If not, then it would be a reduced fare on the Flex, MCFlex, a 75-cent trip either way.
Would that be a trip by trip then?
Yeah, or you could buy a monthly pass if she rode a lot, if the individual rode a lot, and that would be $23 a month for unlimited. We set that up, yeah. But if it's a funded trip, they'll take care of it. If not, then it's a reduced fare. Good question. Ms. Moser?
Do I have this right, that we can take a bus to Montrose area if we want to go shopping there or out to eat there?
It would be out of the county, and I'm only running been authorized to run the 18 Express service from Medina City over there. That question was mentioned earlier. But if you need to get there, I encourage you to call. If you need to get there, it would be a service that we could provide from Wadsworth into Medina City, and then possibly a transfer over to the Montrose area. We don't take you in there. We drop you off at the bus stop that's right in front of the Home Depot there in Fairlawn. Yeah.
What's the cost?
Well, that would be a $4 trip over from Wadsworth to Medina City. Then we provide a transfer, so it would be $4 over and then $4 back, because we provide a transfer for that 18 Express. Yeah.
Okay, what about that town that's just not that far from here, Rittman?
Yeah.
Can we go to Rittman?
It would be out of the count.
Depends on where at.
Yeah, Rittman kind of cuts through the county, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. What I encourage you to do, call and we'll look in the address, and our team will take a look and see what fits for you. If it's within the county, we can cover that.
Okay, one more thing.
Sure.
When we call in, no one says their name when they answer the phone, and we went through this before when we had the meeting, and you said you were going to address it.
I do have some new staff members. We've had some people move on. I will go back, appreciate the feedback. I will go back and reinforce that.
I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Right up here.
Sorry, I have so many questions.
Yeah, you asked way too many questions. No, I'm kidding.
If I need to go to the Cleveland Clinic in Medina,
Mm-hmm.
would I make arrangements to come into Medina and then catch a bus in Medina and go over there? Or would I make an arrangement to go from here directly to?
Directly there.
Okay.
Directly there and return. Good question.
But if I wanted to do some shopping or something in Medina, would I go directly there, or would I go there and catch it from Medina bus? And
No, it's going to take you directly there and direct. We did away with all the loop service, even in Medina. It's just unnecessary miles and gets people where they're going quicker.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
I have a question.
Hi.
I've been here for 2 years, I've been riding the bus, and I have to say it's the best thing that happens to me. But every now and then you will call the dispatcher, and I will call like, say Monday, like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, that if I can get the bus to get here for 10 o'clock or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl will say, no, the bus is full. And that would be the end of the discussion. But
Okay.
I've ridden the bus, and I know 9 times out of 10, that bus is never full, because somebody always stays on. They're too tired, too sick, too whatever, company, but they're not on the bus. But like, they kind of cut you off and say, no, the buses are full. Only way they can make something available. And every now and then you get someone that says, oh, nothing's available.
Well, let me respond to what the dispatcher is doing, and I fully support our team. There are a number of different things if you've ever been in a dispatch office, and I apologize for that. If it's anything, we are trying to make sure everybody gets service at the schedules the day before, a minimum 2 hours. And I will tell you, nobody wants to run more service than Shannon, okay? Nobody wants to put more service out there than myself. Sometimes there's limited resources, just being honest. I'm very transparent to talk about it. There are certain times of the day where it's very difficult. Full means different. Full means scheduling that someone will be late getting their next appointment if we add somebody in. That's what they're referring to. To say full doesn't mean a full bus running around, and I think people envision that. I've heard that. Full means someone's going to be late to a doctor's appointment, work, something that's very critical to their service. Can we do a better job? We have done a better job. We are making sure, and that's why those trip denials are down. They're way down. We're not saying no. We're finding a way to help people. It is not an exact science. She works at this every day. I say Amy and her team, our team, to make sure that everybody gets a ride. I think in the last 6 months, we've come a long way in responding to the specific needs of everybody, but just understand that it may be a limited access, not a full bus again, but someone will be late if we
But it also is
put you in.
based on a time and a time frame.
Based on a time and a time frame. Well stated, Cora? Say again?
I'm not very threatening, I guess, but if you ever take the bus service away, you will have to answer to me.
Cora said some very kind words, and I remember that. In fact, I repeated it recently. I did give you credit. You never know, and I appreciate the kind words. And again, it's back to the team. It really takes a lot to make sure that we have enough buses, that we get them, they're well maintained. Drivers, hiring drivers, which we still look for 2 or 3, 4 more. Make sure we schedule properly. We're really committed to this. The team is very committed, and they do a great job. Are there hitches? Not a doubt, not a doubt. But I appreciate your kind words, and I can tell you that we're not taking away the bus service, okay? I'm glad we're able to provide all the service we can provide, and as we get farther down the road, pardon the pun, we're going to continue to learn more about how to schedule and get the most out of our service. But, you know, this is just statistics. I run the numbers in my head and on spreadsheets all the time. You know, a lot of these services here, some of these services are less than a mile. People going a few miles, you know. Remember, we couldn't do that before. Now these buses are very dedicated right here to make sure you have what you need. Now the county-wide services, people are traveling almost 9 miles. They're going from Medina on average 9 miles. That fluctuates throughout the year. It's incredible. Sometimes it's 12 miles, sometimes it's 8. But average about 9 miles an average trip on our county-wide. That's a lot of service. We have 23 revenue vehicles that covers 425 square miles. 23 revenue vehicles. We run 18 routes a day. And we're on pace to provide about 75,000 trips this year. So we're doing a lot with the vehicles we have. Okay? Thank you, Cora.
Hello, my name is Eleanor. I make a couple trips every year to the Medina Cleveland Clinic to see a doctor there. What mode of transportation would pick me up? Would it be a regular bus, or would it be some other type of vehicle? And when you schedule an appointment for a pickup, would it be an hour, or can I schedule one for half an hour for a pickup?
That's a very good question. It will be a bus. It could be a number of different vehicles. We kind of have a mixed fleet. We have this size. We have some transit vans, but it will be a logoed vehicle, okay? Going to your destination, we try to give you about 35 to 45 minutes to be there before we schedule your return trip. And Amy will tell you, sometimes you're picked up at the start of your window and we drop you off. People go into that doctor's appointment and they get them in, and someone's ready before their return pickup. That happens. That's public transit, folks. But I will tell you, if you're available, like I was saying earlier, to make sure that if you get done early, call in, see if we have a vehicle in the area. We might have you wait a few extra minutes, then I hopefully, you find a safe place and it's dry. But we don't want, if we come pick you right up, that's possible, but sometimes we can't, but we will get you back home.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your flex service indicates 9 to 4 p.m.
Right.
Do you have any other service like 24-hour service?
We run our county-wide service 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We run the flex in Wadsworth 9 to 4. We do not have 24 hours. It's 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Yes. Hi.
I'm Diane, and I've ridden that since it started. Well, I used to do the trains, the route,
Okay.
but I was only third on the list then, had to wait for them to go the whole loop from Walmart out and come back. And I love this. I love this new service. I use it all the time.
You are one of the folks this is why we started this. Exactly that. People had to ride all the way around. I rode that bus, then I went and rode the flex, and they're like, you can take me right there? That's why. Good.
But I wanted to tell you too, somebody made a comment here, and it slipped my mind.
It's okay.
What it was about. But I do really, I would love to see it expand. I'm from Barberton. And the Cleveland Clinic now is, Akron, Bath. And I had to go see a doctor there because my doctor's with the Cleveland Clinic.
I see.
And they sent me to the Express right here in town, and they don't even do lab work.
Oh, my.
That wasn't anybody's fault
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
or the buses.
Doctors moved on you.
But, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
I appreciate the kind words. Thank
But
you.
I love it.
You're the reason, you're one of the reasons we did that direct
I've
service.
been doing it till
Okay, whoop, we got one more I'm going to have some flyers to hand out. Yes,
I'm saying
you're
to
back.
everybody here, I came from New York 2 years ago, and it was quite an adjustment. But I found that if I wasn't for this bus company, because I own my legs and my bus, and if it wasn't for this bus company, including I'd probably make them crazy, other than that. But I depend on the bus company, and anyone sitting in the room that does not have their car and have to go somewhere.
Right.
Other than a weekend, you take a lift, but you have a bus that will help you where you have to be helped if you need help.
Right.
And this is the company that does it.
Thank you.
I was here with the inception of all this when it was a conversation going on. And I have to say, you all have made such progress. It's amazing. But your whole team, because you're only
She's-
the people that work for you.
Appreciate that. I got a really good team.
And
They really care. Their hearts are in it. I can tell. One more question?
Is there a possibility that it will ever run on Saturday?
Okay, I didn't mention about Saturday service. We're evaluating Saturday service. We haven't run Saturday service in Wadsworth. We're evaluating Saturday service countywide. And I don't want to say the word because we all know what happened a couple years ago. I don't even like saying the word. But that event changed Saturdays for us. Don't know why. But what we need to do, and I appreciate the feedback, is that the answer is there's a possibility of it, but we haven't seen the need. We haven't seen a huge ridership demand on Saturday. We have not seen that. And it just seemed to be different. So we'll take that feedback back and see what we can do. Many folks that travel on the service do their business Monday through Friday. I think there's a possibility of it, but probably not in the near future because the ridership's not there, and we want to provide the most that we can to the folks that need it when they need it. Good question. Anything else? Whoop, one more. Just one more.
I just wanted to say that some people don't get their food assistance, on a certain date, and it falls on Saturday, then they have to wait till Monday, to go to the store, and if they need something, it can be a problem.
I hadn't heard that feedback. That's the first time I've ever heard that, but I didn't know that. I didn't know Saturday wasn't a day that you didn't get that. Well, you all had some really good questions. Hopefully you have enough information. We're here to help you. If you need any questions or need it, Amy's got some flyers. Our folks really want to take your call and help you. Just know that seems like we have hundreds of people sitting in offices, we don't. Amy probably does 3 different things in a given day. We have staff members that cross-utilize. I cross-utilize in some number of different ways, but they very much want to help you and care about what you need, okay? So do I. Okay?
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.